5 students only are coming today, and those students are very active, which you are the one. Uh, okay, so what kind of graphs that you took in physics? Two graphs.
Distance time graph or speed time graph.
Yes, distance time graph and the speed time graph. So when I say distance time graph, that's the distance on the y-axis, that's the time. On the x-axis, that's the speed, that's the time. Now, if you go for the distance time graph, and if I say that there is a journey which has been started, time 0, still we didn't move, then within, let's say, for example, within 10 minutes, we moved, let's say, 5 kilometers, that distance in kilometers, let's say. And then after that, I moved for 20 minutes. The total time is 20. For another 10 minutes, في الأسئلة مثلا, how they will trick students. Further 10 minutes, they will say, means that overall time is 20 from starting of the journey. Let's say there is another distance, overall distance, let's say 45. And then let's say for about 5 minutes, he was drinking tea in a cafe. So there is no distance covered here. As you can see, let's say for 25 minutes, there is nothing. Okay. That's a distance time graph. Now in distance time graph, the gradient, as you can see, they are all straight lines. They are all straight lines, just like that. Gradient of a line in distance times graph represents the speed. يعني اجى قال لي هذه الجراف تبعتي, find the speed in the first part of the journey. Of course, as you know, by using math, gradient means we have to find 2 points on the line and find the gradient. Now this point is 5 and 10, and we can calculate the gradient for the first part of the journey. That is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we have another part of the journey, which is 20 and 45. And in this way also we can calculate the speed of this guy in the second part of the journey. And we can see that there is no speed between 25 and 45. 45. In this part of the journey, he was stopping somewhere to drink something. Like in time is passing, distance is fixed, 45. It means that he's not doing anything. It means he's not doing anything. Now, this is for the distance time graph, and we should know how to explain the trips أو the journeys in a distance time graph, لأنه مرات بيجي بيعطيني word problem بيحكي لي sketch distance time graph and find the speed in a certain part of the journey or the whole journey. Now average speed, there is something called average speed. إيش هو average speed?
The speed along the whole journey.
Means total average speed means total distance over total time. صح يا شباب؟ total distance over total time. For example, if I want to find the average speed for the whole journey, I have to calculate what is the total distance covered and what is the total time covered. This is the average speed. Whereas in the speed time graph, if I'm starting my way for a certain time, my speed was something, let's say 10 kilometers per hour. Then I stopped for petrol station, let's say for 10 minutes. Then I went back home. Now, so this shows that this is 0, 0. And let's say, for example, the speed was 25 kilometers per hour. Of course, this is kilometers per hour, or I may say kilometers second. Then I reached there with my speed 10 minutes in 10 minutes. And then I stopped for about another 10 minutes. Then I went back home, means my speed becomes a 0 again. Now, my question is, in the first part of the journey, which is this one, is the speed increasing or decreasing?
Increasing.
Increasing. Osama, do I have acceleration or deceleration? ما أعتقدش الصوت باخد هذا التايم من الوقت unless السماعات خربانين. عماد كيف حالك؟ طيب هاشم, in the first part of the journey, do we have an increasing or decreasing speed?
An increase.
Increase. Do we have acceleration or deceleration?
Acceleration.
Acceleration. So the acceleration is calculated by finding the gradient of the line. In the speed time graph I'm talking about. The gradient of the line. And also, let's say this is point A, B, and C, and D. From B to C, Osama, what is the value of acceleration from B to C?
It's 0.
It's 0 because the man is standing somewhere, time is passing, لكن ما في speed, معناه واقف. Thank you. كيف? What about the other third part of the journey, the third part? CD, is it acceleration or deceleration?
Deceleration.
Usama.
Deceleration.
Deceleration. And what is the value of the acceleration in this part will be?
Negative.
صح. Negative. The acceleration is positive and the acceleration is negative عشان هيك بنسميها deceleration. So calculating the acceleration or the deceleration in any part of the journey, we have to find the gradient بنفس الطريقة x2 minus y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's it. Now, in the speed time graph, انتبهوا, in the speed time graph, if we need to calculate the distance traveled,
It's the area under the graph.
ممتاز. Distance traveled is area under a graph. Area under graph. We have to use the mathematical concept. So, كان مين هون عندي قرم. عماد قرم من السنة. He's joining. عماد كيف حالك؟ صباح الخير.
صباح النور.
هذا الشكل A B C D mathematical name is what?
أستاذ قصدك الشيب نفسه؟
A B C D. This shape, geometrical shape named what? إيش اسمه؟ حسن اسمه.
لا أستاذ مش حسن.
قتادة؟
أستاذ
احكي.
ايش هو استنى شو قصدك؟ ترابيزيوم.
Trapezium, thank you very much. And there is an area for the trapezium. There is a rule for area of trapezium we took وعندك في امتحان بعد كم من يوم. ايش هو الاريا of trapezium؟
الاريا أستاذ والله ناسي.
امتحانك بعد يومين ثلاث صح؟ هاشم, what is the area of trapezium?
والله ناسي أستاذ.
كمان ما شاء الله. قرم.
Ustaz, I'm not sure is it صح. Can I tell you?
احكي لي.
Half times height.
اوكي.
هذا اللي أتذكره. Times base.
No. Safe.
I'm not sure. هذا اللي تذكرته.
Safe.
بس والله كان عندي نفس زي اسماعيل بس طلع غلط يعني بس بدون هاف. height multiplied by base.
كمان بدون هاف.
أستاذ بالضبط أنا.
بصير أنا.
طبعا.
It's okay بتكون assuming that the top side is A and the bottom side is B, it would be A plus B over 2 times height.
يا سلام يا سلام يا سلام, جميل جدا أسامة. قتادة شو رأيك في موضوع أسامة؟
Yeah, it was 1 over 2 times A plus B.
اللي هي نفس اللي حكاها برضو أسامة. شكرا for both of you. Now I can see 2 full marks coming in the next exam. Okay. So that's a trapezium, and area of trapezium is, if this is your A, this is your B, and this is the height, which is over here, the height, which is the distance between the two bases. So we say that. So the area, the distance diamond traveled is the area under a graph. Now, this comes to the end of this lesson. In fact, let's go for questions. All questions are there in the book and describes what did we explain today in this lesson. The distance time graph, as you can see, there is a story behind this. Now the graph shows a journey made by a van and a car, starting at B, traveling to S, and return to B. فبدي واحد يعمل لي explanation للفان, الرحلة تبعت الفان. قتادة؟
نعم أستاذ هسه
أيوة بدي explanation للفان, اعمل لي إياها في قصة هيك. يلا.
Okay, so basically the van went out of the house. They went at 8 a.m.
Yes.
And they started driving with a speed that we're yet to determine. So they drove for around 1 hour, which is 9 o'clock, at to 40 kilos away from the house.
So 1 hour, 40 kilos away from the house. Yes, come on. Please.
And then they stopped for about half an hour to re-get their stuff, or like drink a bit or get something from the store. And then after that half an hour, they started going again until they reached 100 kilos away from the house, where they stopped again because one of them needed to go to the bathroom. And then finally, And finally, this is where the distance became tinier, which means that this is the time back to the house.
Yes, back to the house. شكرا. Thank you for this enjoyment journey. هون أحلى إشي هون. أيوة. طيب. Thank you قتادة. شكرا. هاشم, can you describe the car please? Journey. حطها في ستوري هيك. الو الو هاشم. طيب أسامة please. هاشم معنا. Still you have the chance to tell us a story about the car. طيب يلا ايش اكتب لي على الشات what problems you are facing with the mic or something, or you can write down على الشات ايش ال journey of the car. You can follow the chat also. You can do all possible attempts to do the أسامة يلا.
At first, at 9, at a bit before 9, that
How
would
much
be
time before 9? How
8:45.
8:45, because every part of this is 45.
15 minutes.
Yes, 15 minutes. Yes, 8:45 بدأوا الجيرني. تفضلوا.
So at 8:45 the car started accelerating.
Yes.
The car started accelerating, and then at that would be 9:30. The car stopped for 30 minutes.
Okay, what you are expecting they are doing?
They're refilling the car gas, and they're taking a rest. Then at 10 sharp they start accelerating, but slower than before, until 11.
Good.
Yes, until 11, where the car stops for just for 15 minutes to take a break, and then it starts decelerating from 11:15 to 12:15.
Yes, 12:15 until they reach home, or they reach anywhere. Okay, thank you very much. Now, if you see the questions, for how long was the van stationary during the journey? The van. For how long? You have 2 minutes to think about it. هاشم, يا بتكتب لي على الشات يا بتحكي بالمايك. اوكي، موجودة على الشات. الشات بيطلع عندكم صح؟ لا انا مش سامعك. انا مش سامع. نو. اكتب على الشات. What was the question? Okay, the question is part A. For how long was the van stationary during the journey? Okay, you can write it down on the chat, the answers. The van stationary. The van stationary means this part and this part. 45 minutes. Hona we have 15 and 15. Hona we have 5. That's correct. Okay, excellent. Okay, right. انت سامعني هاشم؟ سامعني؟ تمام ممتاز. Thank you Hashim. Then for 45 minutes. And what time did the car first overtake the van? Overtake the van safe?
Yes, sir.
Yes. B. Part B. At what time did the car first overtake the van? This is the dotted line for the car and the van is the straight line. What time? Yes.
أستاذ ب9 ولا 10؟
بين 9 و10 قصدك هون؟
لا، اللي فوقها.
اللي فوقها.
9 أيوه بالضبط.
احنا بدنا الكار overtake the van مش الفان overtake the car.
معناته يس النقطة هاي.
اللي هي التايم كم كان؟
9:15.
9:15. Yes 9:15. The first overtake. ليش؟ لأنه أول overtake الكار overtake the van. الثاني الفان overtake the car. Then the third one which is the car overtake the van overtake the car and so on. At what speed was the van traveling between 9:30 and 10 يا ياسمين؟ 9:30 هيها و10 هيها. بدنا السبيد of the van.
تقريبا 20.
The speed of the van تقريبا 20. لحظة شوي بس أنا بدي أمحي كل هاي الخربطة عشان إيش نحدد. Okay. So
You want a dash between them, right? And between 40 و 60.
السبيد كانت من 9:30 لحد 10 لحد هون. So can we take 2 points? 2 points. X-axis 10. Y-axis كم هاي؟
70.
70. And we have to take care إنه هاي hours وهاي kilometers. لو واحدة فيهم مش converted we have to convert it. So and this is the second point is this point is 9:30. How we can express this in math? 9:30.
9:30 we could say 9.5.
9.5 and the speed was
40.
the speed was 40. Yes. So how we can calculate the speed?
Okay, y1 زي كأنه زي gradient.
Gradient, exactly. y1 minus y2, 70 minus 40 over 10 minus 9.
10 minus 9.5.
And how much is that, please?
It's 30 over 0.5.
Yes, which is 30 times 2. That's
60.
60 kilometers per hour. What is the greatest speed? The قرم. What was the greatest speed attained by the car مش عارف شو كنا نسوي. طيب ماشي. هو احنا هذا الدرس انتوا اخذتوه بالفيزيكس speed time graph and the distance time graph.
بعرف.
And we know that in the speed time graph this is the time, this is the distance. In the distance time graph to calculate the speed we have to calculate something called how we calculate the speed from your physical information. How we used to calculate
calculate the speed time times distance.
هذا بالفيزيكس لكن
time over distance.
بالماث يا قرم we find the gradient. بالماث we find the gradient for the straight line. يعني مثلا what was the greatest speed attained by the car during the entire journey. يعني هي الكار. We need to calculate which part of the journey has the greatest speed. First we have the first part of the journey. خليني أمحي تبعت الفان وخلي تبعت الكار. Now as you can see the car has how many parts of the journey we have here? We have 1, we have 2,
4.
3, 4, and 5.
5.
Okay, 3, 4, 5. Do you know the number 2 part and number 4 part? What is the speed in number 2 and number 4? قرب.
The car is stopped, صح؟
صح. تمام. And what about 5? The speed, we have a speed.
Decreasing.
There is a speed which we need to calculate the gradient here. Okay, decreasing. No, it's not decreasing. It's going back home. That's distance. That's distance, not speed time graph. That's distance time.
Okay.
طيب, how we can calculate the speed, the first part of the journey? حكينا ايش بنسوي يا قرم؟ Find the
gradient.
Now, how we can find the gradient of the first part of the journey? كيف الجريدينت بنحسبه؟
ثواني أستاذ.
ثواني. اللي عارف يكتب على الشات. How we find the gradient? طيب.
straight line. ثواني.
ايوه.
y2 minus y1.
ايوه.
over.
ايوه. شفت
over x2 minus x1.
تمام. طب find me y x1 y1 x2 y2.
اوكي. y1 اللي هي 60.
انت فوق بدك؟ طيب. اللي هي 60. موافق. كمل.
y2 100.
انت مين بدك تاخذ اي وحده؟ النمبر 1 ولا 2 ولا 3 ولا 4 ولا 5؟
انا اخذت نمبر 1.
نمبر 1.
لا شوف انا اخذت من عند يعني عند 60 وعند 4.
يعني انت بدك هاي وهاي. طيب هاي البوينتس، هاي y1 و x1. ايوه احكي لي.
60 و100.
هون 60 وهون 100. ماشي موافق. بعدين اكسات اكسس.
اوكي 10 وهنا 11.
on 11. How we find the gradient?
At 11 y1 y11 و100.
ايش 100؟ ايش هاي
كيف تنحكى؟
ايش الجريدينت رول؟ تعرف الجريدينت رول؟ مين يحكي له جريدينت رول؟
y2 minus
doesn't-
y1 over x.
Thank you, Qatada. So that's a y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So, yeah, apply it, yeah, Qurub. Hashim, can you apply the rule? Help Qaram. طب ياسمين
Yes, Ustaz.
يلا.
Okay, so 2 points from 10 و 60 و 11 و 100, right?
Yes.
Okay, so أول إشي بنحط y2 minus y1, which is 100 minus 60,
Yes.
over 10, 11 minus 10.
11 minus 10. That's a 40 over 1. That's equals
40
to 40
over 1 اللي هي 40.
kilometers per hour.
Yes.
Okay. That's the grace speed. But what is the average speed for the car over its entire journey? Average speed, what did we say about the average speed?
We will add اللي هو over time over اللي هو
Distance over time. Yes.
Distance
The
over
total
time.
distance traveled by the car, okay, divided
Over
by
the
the
time.
total time traveled by the car. بدو للسيارة. Yes. So this is the way how to calculate or how to do my calculations in the distance time graph. And how to interpret the figure. Let's take an example for the speed time graph. The speed, as we said, acceleration is the gradient, and the distance traveled is the area under the graph. So, for example, question exercise 14, question number 1. Now the acceleration when time t equals 4. First of all, I need someone to interpret this graph. Interpret means tell me a story, give me an explanation for what I'm doing. Okay. Qatada, would you like to do a story, please?
Okay.
Yes.
So some dude went out of his house at like some specific time, and he was jogging. Okay, he was going to the gym, and then while he was going to the gym, he was really going. He was really going. He's trying to run. He was trying to catch up until he was like, oh, finally, I reached the street, and now he's like, okay, I'm just walking the same speed. He was like, I don't want to exhaust myself before the gym. Then this is where the dude got too lazy, and this is why the gym man told him to stop eating all of those sweets, because this is where he starts to slow down.
Thank you for this nice story. Tamam. We need to accelerate when time t equals 4. Safe. Acceleration when time t equals 4.
كيفين يا أستاذ؟
Now, how we find the acceleration in the speed time graph? We said earlier, 15 minutes ago, how we can find the acceleration in the speed time graph. You remember? Before 15 minutes, what did we say about the graph of time speed graph? لا. Okay, so we were saying to calculate the acceleration. Yes, Hashim, do you have an answer how to find the acceleration in the speed time graph? شايف يا سيف? That's a speed time graph. Now in speed time graph, to find the acceleration in any part of the journey, we calculate the gradient. For example, if we have this is an acceleration, we need to calculate the acceleration That's 0, 0, and that's 10, 20. And to calculate the acceleration in part OA, we need to calculate the acceleration, that's the gradient y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. فهمت كيف يعني إيش يعني؟ فهمت يا سيف؟
Yes, yes.
Is it hard?
No.
لا. So let's go back to the question. You have your book, right? Now, question 14, there was a journey in which Qatada interprets the journey with a story. Did you listen to Qatada?
حكى ستوري.
يا حبيبي انت وين كنت؟ هلا listen up people. In online learning, it's not the fault of the society, it's not the fault of anyone, even you. It's not your fault. لكن you have to be responsible for your learning. أنا مش همسك عصاي والحق كل واحد فيكم اسمع علي انتبه علي كذا. So المشكلة هون المشكلة اللي هي إنه اللي بده يتعلم بتعلم اللي بدوش يتعلم راحت عليه literally بالحرف الواحد راحت عليه. هذا فيديو recorded. Go back to the video and listen again when you are in a mood. It's not kind of I'm not in a mood. It's your future. It's not my future. Okay? Please, everyone, listen carefully and give some attention to the lesson. لو سمحتوا. Accelerates when time t equals 4. The 4 is over here, safe, and it's somewhere there. We don't know. Like, we need to calculate the acceleration for this segment of line. Now, how we can calculate the acceleration?
احنا حكينا انه لازم نطلع الجريدينت صح؟
Yes. Find me 2 points so I can find the gradient.
0 0.
ماشي موافق. والتالي
هلا 14 مثلا و4.
14. That's not a 14.
هو استاذ اوكي 10 و 15.
We don't know about the 4. So 10, 15. Okay. Now do we have 2 points? Do we have to? Yes. Can you calculate the gradient?
Okay.
Okay. Gradient, which is the acceleration. ايش الرول تبع الجريدينت؟
y1 minus y2 لا y2 over minus y2
whatever لانه زي ما
1.5
y2 اوكي عفوا
ايوه
هو y2 minus y1 ولا y1 minus y2
مثل ما بدك، بس if you start with something يعني مثلا y1 minus y2 لازم تحت تكون x1.
اوكي so x2 minus x1.
Okay, so that's كملي.
It's a 15 minus 0 over 10 minus 0
that's a
اللي هي 15 over 10.
Yes. Divided by 5.
هنا 15 divided by 10. Yeah, 1.5.
That's kilometers. That's a meters per second square. Then acceleration.
Yes.
That's an acceleration. Okay, total distance traveled. What is the total distance in speed time graph? How we can calculate it?
Should I say it?
Yes.
It's the distance. It's the area under the graph.
And what is the geometrical shape looks like?
This looks like a trapezium.
Trapezium.
So
half times A and B.
which is how much A?
A is 30.
صح. Okay, what is B?
نفس
60
الشيء كمان.
Okay, times
times الهايت اللي هو 10.
no.
No, 15.
So that's equal to 60 plus 30, that's a 90. Half of 90, 45. 45 times 15,
675.
75 meters. Okay, what is the average speed?
That will be 675 over 6.
Yes, over 60 seconds, total distance over total time.
Which is 11.25 meters per second.
125 meters per second. يا اما بنكتبها هيك او بنكتبها متر per second.
أستاذ الحصة اللي بعديها بلشت.
يلا هاي خلصنا وخلص الدرس هذا. Please who missed it
تمام.
back to the video and check out your. هلا question number 2 and 3 please do as a homework.
أستاذ, which page is this?
This is page, let me just clear everything out and show the page. This is page 263, exercise 14.
Okay.
Question number 2 and 3, please do it at home. You should do all of those, صراحة, because especially question number 10. So 2, 3, and 10 is a homework.
تمام أستاذ. Thank you. يعطيك العافية.
Bye bye.
Bye.